Welcome to Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine. I'm your host, Jill Jardine, Master's in Counseling Psychology, longtime astrologer, psychic healer, and yogi. In this episode, I'm happy to reintroduce you to my guest, Kathleen Nichols, transformational spiritual coach and Ascension way shower. She is also the senior presidential director of the company LifeWave, helping everybody raise their vibration. You're going to want to stay tuned to find out more. Hey, listeners, I want to remind you to support Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine podcast. You can do that by going on to www.buzzsprout.com/958-528/support. This will be in the show notes. Welcome to the episode featuring my guest, Kathleen Nichols. Kathleen is a light worker, transformational spiritual coach, and an Ascension way shower. She was trained as a holistic health practitioner and has been in the healing arts for over 25 years. Kathleen owns Starfire Healing Center, a thriving business in Southern California, where she raised her 2 children. Kathleen is trained in many traditional modalities of bodywork, including polarity therapy, applied kinesiology, qi ning sheng, energy healing, shamanic healing, and she is a Reiki master. She's an expert at understanding the body, mind, spirit connection, and the related interconnected systems. In addition, she has had the privilege of receiving downloads from Source regarding other forms of healing techniques that she incorporates in her sessions. Her vision is to author a book sharing and teaching these downloaded healing techniques to the world. During her personal healing journey, she became interested and focused on trauma resolution. That prompted her to return to formal education, receiving her master's in clinical psychology with an emphasis in somatic psychology and pre- and perinatal psychology. Blending the healing arts with the 2 psychologies, she was able to facilitate her clients coming back home to themselves and actualizing their creator talents. This marrying of Eastern and Western paradigms birthed into quantum healing sessions, helping people release blocks, challenges, past life entanglements, etc., and facilitating the recalibration and reconfiguration to their original soul blueprint, supporting them to actualize their soul's mission. 5 years ago, she was introduced to some cutting-edge technology that helped save her daughter's life. With this technology, Kathleen realized the impact for helping humanity and increasing the consciousness of the planet has no limits. She has been sharing this light technology for 5 years, and her team has helped over 60,000 families' lives be transformed. She is a senior presidential director, achieving top leader status within her company LifeWave, and also receiving LifeWave's 2023 Humanitarian of the Year award for helping Maui fire victims. Today, she's here to share about this technology that is taking the health and wellness industry by storm. We're so happy and excited to have Kathleen Nichols in person all the way from Maui here in our New England studios via the Dominican Republic on her way to Chicago. Welcome, Kathleen.
Well, aloha, Jill. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. I can't believe I've done all those things at the young age of 58 so far.
Right. And aloha to you. It's been a pleasure hosting you here in New England, Massachusetts. We're turning everybody on to the LifeWave frequency of health and higher vibration. And we want to talk about that today. We want to talk about the LifeWave patches. We want to talk about the ascension trajectory that's occurring on the planet here in 2024 into 2025, and how you can get help for your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. So let's share. We were talking about off mic how so much is going on right now energetically on the planet, and a lot of people might not even be aware of it. I know listeners of Cosmic Scene are plugged into this, but let's share some information so that they can have a wider cognition of what really is going down.
There is so many changes on this planet right now, Jill. And like you say, a lot of people might not be aware of it. Being all the way from the new light that's just beaming into our planet constantly. The magnetosphere is changing and shifting so that light is able to come in with the veils decreasing. And really that's just coming in and really affecting our bodies and the shifts and changes in your personal life, your development, your spiritual life. There is so much happening on this planet right now.
Yeah, I've noticed that we're having shifts actually in the time-space continuum. Time seems to be speeding up, which it has, because we know time is basically a man-made construct or a mental construct or a third dimensional structure. And as we go into these higher dimensions of consciousness, fifth dimension, multidimensional, we're seeing the breaking down of some of these third dimensional matrix containing structures. And as we're recording this, we just came out of the United States presidential election, and talk about reality splits. It's amazing what's happening. Although people seem to be having a lot of drama and trauma around this for whatever reason, whether they won or they lost, it doesn't matter. It's all polarity, the division, and that's what we're moving beyond to unity consciousness. But I noticed as we're heading into a full moon at this time, it would be the full moon on November 15th, but we're also dealing with Pluto going direct, finally, in Aquarius for 20 years. And so we have the astrological correlates, we have a lot of galactic energy coming in, but all of this is changing structures, changing DNA, and there is so much light beaming in from the higher consciousness frequencies that is available to us despite appearances to the contrary. And we're here to waken people up to that and how to anchor that and how to use your body as that temple of light.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what it's all about, right? Coming back into our divine alignment, really light anchoring our true essence self onto this planet so that we can then help raise the consciousness in the collective and also on your personal life and your community. So again, with the election, like you just said, there's a lot of different people feeling, just uneasy about the shifts and the structures of what's going on, but really it's all absolutely in perfect alignment and moving forward. So with the different rewiring of our DNA and our reconnecting of our energy field and just, really coming into our true essence of who we really are meant to be. It's such exciting times right now.
Right. And it's ever changing. So from day to day, even actually since the election, I noticed that the energy may be up one day, it may be down, but we can get in control of our personal reality despite what's happening out there in the collective, despite where the collective consciousness may be. It really is about anchoring your own light, connecting to your own source, and creating the reality that you want in the world, as it was once said by a famous ascended master. Be in the world, but not of it. And so we're all being given a chance to do that. And although this sounds all very, maybe sort of new agey or galactic, there is a very practical piece to it. Our physical bodies are changing. A lot of people are leaving their physical bodies right now. Yes, it's the aftermath of eclipses we had, but when it gets hot in the kitchen, you better get out. And so some people are feeling the energetic heat being turned up, and they've decided to witness what's happening with the planet from a non-physical body form. So they're going out of their bodies. And some of it is, so maybe it was their time because they're older, but we're seeing a lot of people leaving from all ages and all kinds of ways out of their body. So part of this time period is about being in embodiment, which is being very present in your body. And that means with any physical symptoms or any physical anomalies that may presenting. And this is where LifeWave comes in. What do you have to say about that, Kathleen?
Yes, absolutely. LifeWave really helps your journey, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And those are just all connected causal bodies that are aligning in order to help you, like I mentioned earlier, be your true essence, shine your entire light. And so LifeWave patches, they're resolving trauma, they're helping your PTSD, your anxiety, your depression. They're, upgrading and elevating and activating your systems on all levels. Imagine if you get all your trauma resolved. What happens then to your energy field? You can bring in more light. Your light quotient accelerates. Your light quotient expands. And that's really helping your body and your consciousness to mitigate all the different changes and for you to be in alignment with what's happening here with Mother Earth as we move into this ascension trajectory.
That's right. And for those who may have missed our previous podcast, Kathleen was a guest of mine several months ago, and we basically shared about the company LifeWave, what are LifeWave patches, how do they help mitigate the aging process and regeneration, what are they actually, so we might do a little review of what the patches actually are, but I do urge you to go back and hear that original podcast with Kathleen Nichols as my guest on LifeWave to get more of the backstory of the company and how it came to be and what the patches are. And so with that being said, as you just shared, Kathleen, we are in a time of unprecedented evolution on the planet, as I like to say, evolve or dissolve. And it's coming from the Schumann frequency, or the actual pulse beat, the heartbeat of Mother Earth, speeding up, accelerating. So we have the Earth frequencies, ley lines, grids, accelerating, changing, shifting, which is enough to kind of throw you off. And additionally, we have the galactic downloads, the cosmic light, the solar flares coming from the universe, from the up as above, so below, from the heavens, the cosmos, however you want to describe it. So we are the connecting piece, Earth and cosmos. And so here we are being the transducers for both what's happening on the planet and what's coming down from the galactic realms. So that's a lot for a physical body to deal with. And we're so lucky we have this tool, this light technology of LifeWave to help with that.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's really aligns with my values and my journey as it's your own body healing itself. You're harnessing your own light.
Tell me about that a little more. What do you
heal
mean?
yourself.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Well, so what I mean is that we're actually all light beings, right? Our body heat is on the spectrum of light, and it's low infrared light. So yes, we are emitting light throughout our whole system. And so what happens with the patches when you wear them, it actually reflects that low infrared light back into your body, which yes, is body heat, back into your body at a very specific signal that tells your brain to start, acting younger and activating your dormant stem cells through the elevation of GHK copper peptide. So we did go in depth with this on our last episode, but just to briefly cover it again, GHK copper peptide and stem cells are the two reasons that you're staying youthful and vital and young. And so what happens at 35, half of them go dormant and you decline in the production of it. And at 60, the rest of your peptide is declining in production and your rest of your stem cells are going dormant. So that's actually why you age, is because of those two things that stop being produced. And so with the patches, you're able to get that GHK copper peptide elevated again. That's in charge of so many things. You're born with it. It's in charge of your health, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, your brain health, your heart health, your lung health, nervous system health. And then, of course, yes, it mitigates your stem cell activities. And so just so that you know, stem cells are actually God creation code, right? Every aspect of your body used to be a stem cell. They're literally the divine intelligence that allows your body organism to be the beautiful vehicle that's holding your consciousness on this planet. And so that's how critical they are. And like I mentioned, you decrease them by half at 35 and the rest by 60. So when you wear the patches, that actually gets that GHK producing, the stem cells becoming active and marching and repairing and regenerating. It even activates your light body, right? It starts rewiring your DNA and getting your energy field reconnected so that you can then bring in more light quotient and really mitigate these challenging times that we have on our planet. So it's your consciousness is evolving and elevating all the time, but our body, as we move from carbon-based to crystalline-based, needs some assistance. And what we found is this basically Ascension tool is really helping you on all levels, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual.
I love what you just shared. It sounds like the stem cells, what I'm hearing you say is that the stem cells, which are always looked at in a medical way as very physical, I haven't really heard them called the divine, basically what you said, that stem cells are the divine blueprint. So we're giving stem cells a consciousness, and it's a spiritual consciousness. And yes, they are physical and in the physical body, but they are, it sounds like, the carriers of our light codes.
Yes, absolutely. The light codes that are here to bring everything into balance, everything into coherency, and everything aligned. And so when I call them the divine creation codes, they literally have that intelligence. When you activate them and start getting them marching to repair and regenerate, they know exactly what to do to bring your whole being into optimal health on all levels. They actually prioritize what needs to be repaired and regenerated to keep your body in its perfect health. So from that point of view, they really are your divine connection from source to your body.
Right. So that is an amazing way to look at them. And people need to know this is so different than anything they've probably heard out there in the medical world about stem cells, the way that we're talking about them. We're talking about them as the divine creator code and that they can be activated by light.
That's correct. And your own light, Jill, like I said, it's actually a process called photobiomodulation, which just means light affecting change in your body. And so it's like I said, it's your own light, your own body heat, low infrared light, and it's affecting change in your body, and it's allowing you to, feel better, look younger, and lead more joyful lives. And that is really what is being called as a soul mission on this planet now. So are we going to embody fully who we are so that we can bring as a collective consciousness this planet into its glory and its creative aspects as we continue to evolve?
That's beautiful. So it's going in, healing our DNA, which also will be all aspects of us, including our mental, emotional, our inheritances from ancestors, latent DNA, and what we like to call the higher strand DNA. There's different theories how many strands of these higher strands. Some are 12, some are 22, some have said 33, commonly known as junk DNA, but they're basically latent DNA that we have not activated. And it sounds like LifeWave activating the stem cell production will then help us to reclaim this DNA, this higher frequency DNA that is latent. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. And so, of course, it's going all the way from the physical body, which would be pain, to mental and emotional aspects, which would be PTSD, anxiety, depression, etc., and also into the spiritual realm, like we're referring to. And so really what happens, and I have a lot of people that report this back to me, including myself as a personal experience, is that you really start deepening your connection with source. Your intuition is coming online. You're really able to navigate external circumstances in a different way. And like I said, your energy field is, activating, repairing, rewiring, reconnecting, which of course is a part of that DNA rebundling on all of our strands, on whatever number of strands we are referring to, right, Jill?
Right. Depending on which metaphysical theory you accept. So, Kathleen, I know we've probably gotten our listeners excited about this light technology of LifeWave. Let's share how they can access it, and also that we are offering a special gift and special wholesale prices to those listeners who contact Kathleen at
808 359 1376. Absolutely, please reach out. I'm here to support you on your healing journey on every level. Again, that's 808 359 1376. And I will get you the best pricing possible and also give you a free gift that you will thoroughly enjoy.
And that number will be in the show notes. Stay tuned for more on LifeWave when we get back. Are you interested in natural health and regenerative healing? Do you want to work with vibration to heal your body? Check out this patented wearable light technology at www.lifewave.com/JillJar. LifeWave is a company that has patches that you wear. So it's not transdermal, you're not taking anything in. And what these patches do, they activate your body's light. It's called biomodulation. And that light is activated, your body starts producing GHK, copper peptides, which in turn activates stem cell production. That's right. So wearing these patches will regenerate your body, reflects your body's light back into your tissues, and you become more vital, energized, reduce pain, inflammation, improvement of sleep, increased strength are all possibilities. Other benefits could be hair quality, rapid wound healing, mental clarity, increased joy and stamina, your skin appearance and wrinkles could go away. Again, all probable and possible depending on your chemistry. Others have enjoyed increased sports performance and recovery and restored muscle or skeletal conditions. Check it out at lifewave.com/JillJar and order yours today. Welcome back. My guest is Kathleen Nichols. We're talking about LifeWave patches and this amazing new light technology. So, Kathleen, a little bit of the practical application of the patches, why they work. What are they?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, let's ground this technology into daily activity. And so what it is, it's a non-transdermal wearable light technology. So of course the non-transdermal part means nothing is going into your skin, nothing is crossing the skin barrier, right? So there's no stem cells in this patch whatsoever. Nothing from this patch goes into your skin, non-transdermal. Wearable, you pull off the adhesive, they're about the size of a quarter, and you wear it on your body. And then light technology, of course. So remember I used the word photobiomodulation?
Yes.
Light making change to your body. The simple term is just light therapy. So it's reflecting your light into your body, signaling your brain to elevate GHK copper peptide and get your dormant stem cells moving. And the way it does that is the patch is actually reflective. So it acts like a mirror. And so inside that is a nanocrystalline structure. And what that is contained of is it is amino acids, salt crystals, sugar crystals, water, and oxygen. And then you just form a little hermetic seal, and it's wrapped up in the part of the patch, and you wear it. And so that forms a crystalline structure that then reflects your light back into your body and affects the change that I spoke of. And then you just whatever you have going on in your own personal journey, you just start checking your boxes off. So everybody has their own different things that they're dealing with. And so really we like people, it is cellular repair and regeneration. So know that that's a cumulative wear, right? But the timeline really is the very first patch that you're wearing already is setting thousands of genes back to a younger expression. So I literally like to joke, Jill, the first patch you're wearing, you're age reversing already. So, and then at 6 weeks, of course, the brain is balanced. That's PTSD, anxiety, depression, Asperger's, autism, all of the things that have to do with your cognition. 2 months, your heart's becoming younger. 3 months, your collagen is repairing. Yes, girls, that's what I just said. Your collagen is repairing. So you really start feeling younger and looking younger. And of course, at 3 months, then that's when those stem cells or divine creation codes actually start producing new ones that can turn into whatever your body needs. And you literally start reversing that biological age. And then as you continue to wear it into 6 months, the changes and the results are absolutely amazing.
It is a fascinating process, and it's amazing how it goes into your body and has a consciousness of its own and troubleshoots. Like you may think that, oh, I have this tooth or jaw issue, but the LifeWave patch says, no, you have real bad heart issues I have to address. Or it will go into a major organ that you may not even realize is percolating some kind of imbalance and help to straighten that out. And that's where maybe you'll have more energy and you just don't know where it came from, but it was your heart was compromised. You were not able to walk up and down those stairs, and now you can.
Yes, absolutely. And just to be clear, the patches are not healing your body. It's your body that's healing itself. The patches are giving your body the environment for it to come into optimal health. And for whatever reason, that's not been the case so far.
I like the metaphor you give about vitamin D from the sun. Do you want to share that with our listeners?
Yes, absolutely. That's a great metaphor. And so just think about it when you go out into the sunlight, the sun stimulates your skin, and then your body produces vitamin D. So the sun didn't give your body vitamin D. Like I said, it stimulated it, and your body produced the vitamin D. That is actually photobiomodulation itself, Jill,
Okay.
light affecting change in the body. So in the case with the patches, of course, we are the sun. It's our light that's doing it.
Become the sun.
Divine creation goes.
Be the sun you want to shine in the world. You've shared some interesting testimonials too with the mental piece of how LifeWave addresses symptoms, such as with autistic children who were not verbal and became verbal, and with stroke victims who could not speak and then spoke. So making those reconnections in the brain. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure, all of those things have occurred. And again, it's your body healing itself. So here at LifeWave, we don't treat, cure, diagnose, or prevent any dis-ease, right? It's your own body doing the healing. And what we have noticed is there's been many things. I've been wearing the patches now for 5 years, and I actually do my own podcast interviewing people that get amazing results. And so that can go anywhere from, like what Jill said. I interviewed a gentleman a few months ago that hadn't spoke since 2019. I interviewed him in November of 2023, so actually a year ago, but he hadn't spoken 4 years. He put the patch on, and it gave his body and his brain the environment to rewire, and he was actually speaking within 2 days. Absolutely remarkable. There was just a glitch in the wiring of his brain. We also have different children that have suffered from autism that are nonverbal, 10 years old, 12 years old. They start wearing the patches. It brings their brain coming into coherency, and they become verbal. So it's a lot of different things with your brain, your cognition, your mental, emotional. So whatever is not coherent or incoherent comes into coherency, and you receive all of that healing and balancing.
Interesting. I just had my ear like go bzzz and pop as you were saying that. So I'm wondering have you had any result with people using them who have had hearing issues and their hearing comes back online, or with eyes and sight?
Yes, actually both. And so, my father, who's 84, he's had his eyesight become extremely better and repair and regenerate his eyes. Regularly, we have people going into their annual checkup with their vision doctor, and their prescription is changing to a lesser prescription because their eyes are repairing. Also, people that aren't able to, drive at night because they have night vision issues
Right.
are now able to drive. So it's just really freedom and liberty on so many levels. We have dogs that couldn't hear anymore that are now hearing, that they just listen to the whistle of their owner, and they don't need to beat the heavy metal on the door to get them to come and eat. They know it's coming. So whatever you really have going on, A to Z, physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, is the results that we've really seen.
And the same for pets, it sounds like.
The same for pets, yes. They have stem cells also.
How do the patches work with pets?
So you can put them on their back of their collar. The patch is reflective either way, so you can just put it on the inside of their collar, and you can also put it on, their hair. If they have long hair, they can ride it on the back of their bum, and some people even put it on their dog's bed if they have an obedient dog, that is, which
Right.
sleeps in the bed for the evening, and it works that way also. So it's the proximity to your body heat, your low infrared light.
Right, because some people I know had them in the pocket and we're still feeling them. And then we had an event the other night and the group was not patched. I was patched. And then you did put patches on everybody in the group and the whole vibration. And I was feeling the warm and fuzzies once they all were wearing their patches. And I was literally feeling like I was a biomodulated sandwich. It was so nice with
Wow.
the heat and the warm fuzzy going on in my body as soon as the group all put on their patches. And you told me later that the group had come into coherence. You want to speak something about that piece with working with the patches and bringing either a group, your own energy, your family's energy into coherence, or any other ways that can create almost like magical experiences in your life?
Yes, absolutely. Like you mentioned earlier, the patches really have a consciousness. I'll actually be speaking to people on the phone and they're not even wearing a patch yet, and they can start to feel the vibration. Because as I'm sure your listeners know, everything is frequency. Everything is vibration, right? Vibration, sound, frequency. And so it's really got its own consciousness. As a matter of fact, David Schmidt, who's the inventor and owner, he got the information on the technology downloaded from source. And then he went into the laboratory and put that information into work over years of research that then was developed into the X39. And so the other night, which Jill is referring to, we had a group of people and everybody was dealing with their own individual private things. We patched them, and the whole group came into a collective resonance field, which really just dropped the energy into this amazing, beautiful, warm, open-hearted, unity consciousness place. And so that will happen individually in your life and also with your family as you do that, because it just entrains into an activated and an elevated resonance field.
Right. And if you don't understand what that means like attracts like. That means you're going to have things come to you. Wow, I was just thinking about that. Or people come to you that can assist you or want, in my case, I do readings and I've turned people onto LifeWave and maybe they haven't come forward, but while Kathleen was in the hood, people were coming out of the woodwork to find out more about LifeWave, even though they hadn't even come to an event and they didn't even know she was in the area. So that's a great example of the resonance frequencies.
Absolutely. Yes, I've been hanging out in the hood at the hole, right?
Yeah.
Whole Massachusetts. Yes, absolutely. Like you said, it just brings everything into coherency. And back in the day, what did we used to call it? In the flow?
Right. Go with the flow. Well, what happens is you start getting into the flow, whether you want to or not. And it's great because a lot of people work really hard to raise their frequency, to meditate, to anchor the light. And now you have this wonderful tool that assists with all of that. And to the level that you've developed spiritually, that is going to be enhanced. That's the whole cool thing. Yes, it works on the physical, mental, emotional level. And in fact, we can address some of the emotional as well. But with the spiritual level, and as somebody who works with sound vibration, I love this adjunct of this light frequency to all the Sanskrit chanting and the gong healing that I do. They walk hand in hand together into the new higher dimensional realities.
Yes, absolutely. As I'm sure some of your listeners, or probably most of your listeners, including yourself, mission on this planet is to help raise the consciousness.
Right.
And that has been my mission since for always. And I finally identified it very specifically well over 30 years ago. And I was using my hands and stuff like that for on-hands healing, of course, just being the conduit. But when I found this technology and this Ascension tool, I thought, I can reach so many more people and raise the consciousness so much quicker as we can expand out to the all of the world with this tool. And it's even as simple as, imagine Dad who has a pain in his low back, and now that pain is gone. The family dinner table is so much more enjoyable. The joy frequency is elevated just by getting people out of pain. And then take that to the next level. And people are, having trauma resolution. They're bringing in more light. So now they're beaming light, and it just ripples out across the planet for the raising of the consciousness.
Right. And to go back to the emotional part, as Abraham talked about emotional set points. So if someone's in pain, they're not going to be happy and they're not going to be hopeful sometimes. So when you take away that pain, which is a lower vibratory, whether it's emotional, physical, mental pain, they're pretty much, sometimes there's a loop and it's really hard to get out of that loop. You put the patches on and the pain goes away, and then you can go to the next hierarchical emotional set point, which may be like hope and
Joy.
optimism and joy and love. But you have to, sometimes we can't do it by ourselves. We do need an assist, whether it's from another person, a technology, or a LifeWave patch.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think we need to tell people about a way they can find out more through that website.
Sure, absolutely. So you can look at a website called startx39now.com. Again, that's startx39now.com. And you're going to find all the information on how the technology works. You're going to see amazing before and after pictures. I mean, they're just pretty much mind-blowing. And I actually know a lot of those people personally, as I've been on this journey for 5 years now. Also, you'll find all of our clinical studies, our patents, which actually are 130 patents, 70, Jill, in regenerative science and medicine.
Amazing.
And we're also in 81 countries and over 100 clinical studies. So you will see all of that on the website, and you'll also get to introduce and feel the love and heart of David Schmidt as he's on there also talking about the technology. So startx39now.com.
That'll be in the show notes. And what about that special gift for our listeners and wholesale discount?
Yes, absolutely. Again, contact myself, Kathleen Nichols, at 808-359-1376, and I will set you up with a customized kit for yourself and your health concerns, get you going on your health journey to be activated and elevated. And in addition, we'll get you, of course, the best wholesale pricing, and we're going to throw in a free gift of some really fantastic other patches that you're going to love.
And make sure you heard about it on Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine to get that special wholesale gift and pricing. Kathleen, it's been a wonderful few days here with you and such a treat to have you in the podcast studio. Do you have any parting words for our listeners?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jill. Mahalo for having me and as your guest. And, just really the bottom line is we want to feel good even as we have our birthdays and we go around the sun. And this is an alternative to not going down that declining hill of old age, right? Let's give yourself the gift of playing with your grandchildren as you're 70, as you're 80. So it's really a health span. And it's an alternative to what is presented on this planet now as we continue to have birthdays. So basically, it's revolutionary technology. Jill, I haven't seen anything that it hasn't helped A through Z on all levels. So I so look forward to hearing from you. And I will be back in Maui soon, so just give a call whenever you can.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Mahalo.
It's a great time to book a reading. So check out my website, JillJardineAstrology.com/shop, and pick the kind of reading or service you would like. I hope you enjoyed this episode featuring my guest, Kathleen Nichols, speaking about LifeWave patches, an amazing light technology. Remember to download, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star review. This is Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine signing out, sending you life waves and cosmic currents of consciousness and healing through the quantum field. Da.